Real quick, there won't be a tech link this coming Monday because I would much rather try and fail to cover all the Computex news on Wednesday. What a thrill that'll be. Apple is up to its old tricks, slapping big red warning symbols on some iOS apps in the EU, like Instacart, that don't use App Store payments, something they've been allowed to do for more than a year. And well, Apple's used these warnings since then too. It's just that a bunch of people notice them now, that some apps are actually starting to implement external payments. It's Apple's typical playbook of technically complying with new regulations, forcing them to allow third-party payments, but doing it angrily, like a nurse that you've offended somehow. Is this the wound? Here's a Band-Aid! That attitude can also be seen in Apple telling Patreon that its external payments link can't open in an in-app browser window. The link has to go out of the Patreon app to Safari, which might as well be the elephant graveyard. No, don't go there, Simba! But when it comes to App Store-related shenanigans, Apple isn't the only sketchy player. After resubmitting Fortnite to the US version of the iOS App Store last week, Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney announced that Fortnite's next update must drop on all platforms simultaneously. That's important. He then went on a little tweet storm, directly asking his fellow Tim Cook to let the kids play as racist Darth Vader. Wait, no, that's for later in the episode. Sweeney pointed out that Fortnite's not allowed on the App Store, but a game called Fort Battle Royale Epic Shoot was. When Apple took that down, Sweeney recommended another knockoff, but Apple neither accepted or rejected the official Fortnite update, which Sweeney said put the game's Friday update in jeopardy. Now this morning, Epic Games claimed Apple blocked its Fortnite submission. Shocker. And for some reason, this means Fortnite can't be released to the US App Store or to the iOS Epic Games Store in the EU, where it was already available. And now, quote, sadly, Fortnite on iOS will be offline worldwide until Apple unblocks it. Now, Fortnite was unavailable to download for iOS today in the EU, but in statements to Bloomberg, Apple denied blocking Fortnite on Epic's own store. It says it just asked Epic's EU developer account to resubmit the app update without also bundling it with the US App Store submission, which it doesn't want to allow. So TLDR, either Apple's lying or Tim Sweeney took Fortnite off Epic's own store on purpose to make Apple look bad. Unfortunately, neither of those are that far-fetched. Like, Tim's trying to open up the App Store, which is good, but he doesn't really care about who he misleads along the way. He's like Luthen Rail from the best Star Wars thing ever made, Andor Season 2 finale, streaming now on Disney+. Disney sucks, but the show doesn't. I love Tim Sweeney retweeting an American Fortnite player who's sad about being this close to playing Fortnite on iOS again, only to get rug pulled. And the only reason he had that hope in the first place is because Tim Sweeney promised that Apple would approve Fortnite this time. He also retweeted an AI video saying that elephants evolved from Dimetrodon. I think we all know what that says about him, so. You guys like dinosaurs, right? It's not a dinosaur, shut up. Now I spent way too long talking about that, so I'm gonna have to speed through this next stuff. VideoCardsWithAZ.com spotted a reference to an Intel Arc Pro B60, whatever that is, on the MacSun website. So I guess we'll probably at least get to see that at Computex next week, along with maybe a Radeon RX 9060 XT, which will not look like the reference design in this tweet from AMD. That's just a mock-up that won't go on sale, but which they nevertheless wanted to show you because they're proud of the intern that made it. Congrats, Kevin. Listings for 8 and 16 gigabyte versions of the card have already been spotted, so it seems like this thing might launch next week. We probably won't get to see AMD's rumored Medusa Point Ryzen APU with 22 cores, or the ARM-powered PC processor codenamed Soundwave that will reportedly take on NVIDIA's own ARM-powered N1 chip in 2026 though, unless Kevin makes a banging mock-up for those two. Good luck, dude. OpenAI finally made its GPT 4.1 models available in ChatGPT this week, and then announced a new cloud-based coding agent called Codex. Not to be confused with Codex CLI, the open source agent for terminal apps that launched last month. No, if you'd like to be confused, let me tell you about how xAI's chatbot Grok suddenly started rambling about white genocide in South Africa anytime someone tweeted for its opinion on literally anything that wasn't that. Sometimes it answered the question it was actually being asked and then went, "Now, regarding South Africa," other times it completely ignored the prompt and just jumped right into it. I mean, that's what we're all here for, right? After taking the bot offline for a bit, xAI brought it back, said they'll be publishing Grok's system prompts to GitHub going forward, and blamed the issue on an unauthorized modification made, presumably, by someone with permissions to do so that also has strong opinions about South Africa. When asked who it thought the rogue employee was, new, feeling much better now Grok said, "Come on, guys. I mean, obviously, it wasn't noted CEO of xAI, originally from South Africa, Elon Musk. He wouldn't risk his company's rep for that, right? He's never done racially charged things in front of large groups of people before. And I've never had a worse segue to our sponsor, MSI and their MPG Velox 300R Airflow PZ, a PC chassis that's built to be cool, just like you. It comes equipped with two 160mm ARGB dual layer blade fans in the front and another 120mm in the rear, which add inner and outer rings to the fan, improving rigidity and minimizing vibration for more efficient airflow. That sounds cool. The case also supports up to 13 fans, 3 360mm radiators, and all motherboard sizes from eATX to mini ITX, including back connect boards. And don't forget the quick snap and lock PSU cover, removable dust filters, and the included 1-to-4 ARGB fan control board, okay? And then go check out the MSI MPG Velox 300R Airflow PZ at the link in the description. It's the quick bits now. There's just no time. Spotify has responded to backlash from podcasters upset over the company's recent update adding public play counts to every podcast. Spotify's new policy will be to show public play counts only for podcasts with more than 50,000 plays. That way, you won't be able to tell how many people are listening to all the fake podcasts discovered by Business Insider and CNN this week that are only like 10 seconds long because they're just a front for selling drugs. Everybody's happy. Reports circulated this week about a massive Steam data breach that supposedly compromised 89 million accounts. And full disclosure, I didn't include it on TechLink because something seemed off. And sure enough, Valve has confirmed that the only thing that was really compromised were a bunch of one-time login codes that don't work anymore. The company says there's no real reason to change your password, but do you need a reason? Do it anyway. Come up with a fun one. Australian startup Gilmore Space was due to launch the country's first orbital-class rocket this week, but during launch preparations, the rocket's nose cone deployed prematurely. There were no photos, but it probably looked something like this clip, according to scientists. In other words, the top fell off. And they should probably build the next one so that doesn't happen.
Well, some of them are built so the front doesn't fall off at all.
And Fortnite is back one more time because it gave Darth Vader, a boss character in the game's Star Wars mode, an AI version of James Earl Jones's voice that players can talk to. Vader immediately started swearing,
freaking wow,
and being a little racist.
Spanish, a useful tongue for smugglers and spice traders.
To be fair, he's a space Nazi super soldier. It's not completely out of left field. Epic Games pushed a hotfix immediately and pointed out you can report it to them the next time the guy that literally slaughtered a temple full of younglings says something a bit edgy. And who knows, maybe I'll say something edgy when you come back on Wednesday, not Monday, for more tech news. I've got some dark thoughts in here. You wouldn't think so, but you don't even want to know what I think about the atomic purple Game Boy Color. Ooh, don't do it.